You're watching the 2019 SCAC Fall Media Days. It's day one, and we're kicking things off with the Trinity University men's soccer program. The Tigers are coming off a 17-2-3 season a year ago, 12-1-1 in SCAC play, the SCAC regular season and tournament champs. Another trip to the NCAA tournament, making all the way to the third round. The Tigers will once again be led by head coach Paul McGinlay, along with junior midfielder Quentin Van Der Lee. And Coach Quentin, first of all, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, thanks for having us, Russell.
Coach, you head into your 29th season as the manager there at Trinity. One of the things I love every year when I send out that preseason coaches poll is your response, Happy New Year. What do you love about this time of year, and where do you get that energy year in and year out as we embark on a new season here in 2019?
Yeah, good question, Russell. I feed off the players. I mean, we the last time we had a meaningful game was way back in last November when we played Chicago, and this is a long time to wait to start a new campaign, and then we lose seniors and we have first years come and join the program, and we just got finished with our first session today, and I just feed off the energy of the players. It's really once again another good group, and expectations of the group are always high, and what is it to be disappointed about? I mean, it doesn't sap my energy; it gives me energy.
Quentin, your fingerprints were all over this team's success last year on the field. As you come into your third camp there in San Antonio, does it feel any different as an upperclassman this season? And what is your favorite part about this unique point of the season in preseason?
It definitely feels a little bit different. I recall in the locker room last year after losing that game in the NCAA tournament that the clock starts to tick. You only have 2 more years left. You're halfway through college soccer, so the urgency is definitely there, and your time is coming to an end to an extent. So you got to make the most of every minute and every chance you get. But being back, my favorite part is just being with the guys, meeting new players, having old guys come back, seeing how the team's going to progress over a few weeks. It's not that much time, but we all, we spend this whole 2 weeks together working to get better, and I think that's the best part, just being around the guys, creating friendships, and competing on the field.
Coach, I look at your roster, and it's pretty remarkable. You returned 10 guys that had 10 or more starts from a season ago. Does that change you and your staff's perspective at all going into camp, and how much does that sort of move camp along, having that type of experience from day one?
Yeah, we on paper that's what it looks like, Russell. We picked up a couple of injuries already through the summer, so it's maybe not quite as robust as 10. But with the new crew coming in, and we picked up a couple of transfers also. There's the only guarantee is that there is no guarantee. I mean, they played last year, and that certainly gives me hope that they'll get on the field this year, but there's no guarantee, and the competitive nature of our group, it's a pretty challenging environment, but certainly with you can't buy that experience. I mean, they are experienced players, and I'm happy to have them, but we've also got some first years and transfers that are nipping at their heels.
Quentin, you talked a little bit about that feeling at the end of the season last year. This team makes a run all the way to the third round of the NCAA tournament. I watched that game, and it's a game that, at the end, it felt like the result could have been very different. A couple of things go differently in the first half, and maybe this team is one game away from going to the Final Four. Instead, it's a tough way to end the season. How much does that sort of emotion and feeling, and with all the experience that return, help motivate these guys going into this year? And can you kind of feel a little buzz with the group kind of gotten so close last year?
Yeah, I think for sure that game motivates us. I think ultimately, more than just the game, the end result. I mean, this program has had standards. The Sweet 16 is kind of a minimum standard for this program. Coach McGinley set for a while now. So our expectations are, as a group, we want to be a Final Four team. We want to be a team in the tournament that's a contender. So certainly falling short of our goals last year is what motivates us and pushes us more. I think we, like you alluded to, we have a lot of juniors coming back, some seniors that have had some pretty big impact. So all of us are ready to go, and we know that, like I said, the time is ticking on all of us. So we're motivated, and I think the new guys are also pushing us too. So it's a good group. We're all motivated. I think we all know this is a new year, though. We're a different team than last year, a new team. But that doesn't mean that we have lower expectations or lesser goals. I think our goals are the same, if not higher. So it's a new team, but we're ready to go.
Coach, we've talked a little bit about the experience coming back, and you mentioned some of the newcomers, 15, I believe, in all, including some of those transfers. What are you looking from that group early on in camp? What do you try and establish as kind of those first building blocks with new guys that come into your program?
Yeah, it happens every year. You know, we don't know who the players are that are going to step up. It's a good pool of players. I mean, no one arrives here accidentally. And there's at this point in time, I couldn't tell you who's going to come forward and who's going to be, new contributors. I've got a good idea of maybe 6 of the 11 spots. I'd be surprised if certain personnel wouldn't be filling those on opening weekend. But there's still 5 spots that are really up for grabs. And during this preseason period, we'll have a chance to try and, although it is short, everyone's faced with the same, schedule. So we'll have a starting group ready to go opening day, and invariably that changes as the season goes on. So we're not short of talent. We've never really been short of talent, and looking forward to trying build this group together on and off the field.
Quentin, you talked about the expectations that are set there in San Antonio, starting with head coach Paul McGinlay. The coach sitting next to you is sitting at 497 career wins. You have a chance to be a part of the team that gets into that historic 500th win. What would that mean to be a part of that, and how much do you really appreciate getting to interact with a guy like Coach McGinlay day in and day out throughout the course of your season?
Be careful. Be careful.
No, it really does mean a lot to be. I think when you talk about the numbers that coaches accrued over the years, you talk about 500. I was here for a record when we were setting records for home wins too. You start to understand that you're really part of something that's way bigger than yourself. You're playing for a history of Trinity soccer, and honestly, you just have the opportunity to play for one of the best coaches in the country, Division 1, 2, or 3. So this is all development time in our careers for soccer, and you get to play for one of the best coaches in the country every single day. So I think when you start to hear those numbers, you really start to realize how lucky you are to be around someone like Coach McGinlay. And then on top of that, just the way he runs our program, what he provides for us as players, he lays it all out for us, and all we really have to do is go out and pay him back with our performances. So he really does make it really easy for us, gives us whatever we need, and then in return he just has a high standard. So I think we all realize how lucky we are, and it would really mean a lot to all of us to be able to give him that, and I surely hope we can do that pretty early on in the season for him.
Coach, we talked before coming on, Trinity gets the opportunity to host the SCAC men's soccer tournament this year. How exciting is that for your program to show off your facility, and how exciting is it for hopefully your guys to have an opportunity to play for an SCAC title there at home? Yeah,
well, we've got to make the tournament first, so really hopeful that, now that we've waited 8 years to get it, that we squeeze in. But yeah, it's been terrific to run around the conference and be able to win some tournaments on other campuses, and to have the opportunity to play on our own. We've waited a while for this, so it's one of the highlights of the year that we're looking forward to.
Quentin, you're coming off a sophomore campaign in which you earned all-conference and all-American honors, 4 goals, 6 assists, 14 total points a year ago. Take me through your summer. What did it look like for you as you prepared and trained to head into your junior year and to make sure you're as top and as best as you can be ready for this season?
The summer was good for me. I went down to Florida and played for a USL 2 team, the Treasure Coast Tritons, down in Florida. So that's a team it's a brand new franchise out of Club Med in Sandpiper Bay down in Florida. So I had a great opportunity to go down there. I was the only Division III guy on the roster. So a really difficult competitive environment in which, I was fighting every single day for a spot in the 18, for a spot in the 11. So, being at Trinity and I've had a lot of opportunity to play, it was good for me to kind of take a step back and really have to grind for every minute that I got while I was down there. And then also have an environment to have the heat environment that's similar to down here in Texas too, helped me to get a little bit, more prepared physically than in years past. And then on top of that, I had the chance to play for another top coach in the country. So just learning and hearing from different perspectives, being around guys who have aspirations of playing professional. That's what soccer-wise took me through the most of my summer. and then was home for a little bit, and also had a chance to play with BlackRock, which is a team I played for previously in the USL2. So was able to spend some time with 2 USL2 franchises and be around guys who are aspiring professional athletes who push themselves, to be the best they can be every day and play in big-time Division I environments. So, that's the kind of culture that Coach McGinlay tries to set here around Trinity. So it was good to be, in those environments throughout the summer, and I'm hoping that it hopefully pays off here in the fall.
Wrap things up with you, Quentin, as you look ahead to this year. The success that you've had in the past, the hard work that this team has put in allows this program to set its expectations high. What are some of the goals for this 2019 team, and what will be key to accomplishing them?
I think most importantly, and it sounds a little bit cliche, but I think the most important thing is for us to get better every day, just to improve every time we come out and practice. Last year we won the regular season and then the conference tournament, and then you kind of go on to the NCAA tournament, and you have goals kind of through each stage. In my opinion, you kind of see this. You have to set goals that are kind of obtainable throughout the entire year. You can't just set, we want to be national champion and go out and do it. You kind of have to work through each stage. So I think for us, we kind of, we're going to try to get better every single day. We're going to try to be successful through a difficult non-conference schedule as always. With a short preseason, our early games are often our most important. So we need to do well in these non-conference games, and then hopefully, we can give ourselves some good seeding for the conference tournament at home, and then from there, you give yourself a chance. You give yourself a chance at a national championship, at a Final Four, at a regional championship. So I think we take it weekend by weekend. You take it game by game, day by day. So I think our goals are ultimately lofty, but in the end, we all know that it comes down to the little things that are going to be different. So this team's going to focus on all those little things this year, hopefully a little bit better than in years past to make the difference.
Coach, I'll end with this. What are your expectations with this group heading into 2019, and what can those Trinity University men's soccer supporters, expect to see from this team game in and game out, despite the result?
Q really hit the nail on the head. I mean, we don't look much beyond the next day. I mean, we had a practice this morning, and already the plans are in place for making sure that this afternoon's practice goes well, and then after that it'll be, tomorrow morning. So it's really short range goals. As Q said, getting better on a daily basis gives us a chance. It's not an on-off switch where we can take October off and then try and gear up for November and hope that things work out. It's a daily grind. The players are committed. They're in a terrific academic setting too, where they're challenged there, but they're all overachievers on and off the field, and collectively putting the team together off the field is just about as difficult as putting the team together on the field, and we have to prioritize both, that we give ourselves every possibility of being great.
The Trinity University men's soccer program, the Tigers will open up this season August 30th when they take on Texas. Dallas once again be led heading into the year by head coach Paul McGinlay, along with junior midfielder Quentin Van Der Lee. Coach Quentin, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the year.
Great. Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.